Hello everybody, welcome to this instruction video. In this video we'll be making part 2 of the crochet along I Want That bag designed by Kimberly Slifer. I'll post a link in the video to where you can find the original pattern for this crochet along. So what we'll be doing, last time in part 1 we built the base. Let's here the brown base I have. And now we're going to start really on our first edge. So we'll be making loops and connecting these loops and then weaving them together. I'll be taking you step by step through this pattern. I am using bloom from Scheepjes, the Scheepjes bloom, to make my bag, and I want to thank Scheepjes for providing the yarn to make this video for you. Together with the yarn I'm using a 5mm crochet hook. So I'll be taking you step by step through these rounds. And it does give a very lovely effect weaving these loops together. I hope this is a useful video for you. I want to thank you for watching. Round 2. I have a new color yarn on my hook, but you're also welcome to use the same color yarn if you like. What we're going to be doing is on the back loop of each and every stitch, we're going to be working a single crochet. If you're using the same color yarn, you do a chain 1 and then work your first single crochet on the same stitch as where we did the join. Because remember, we did the join only in the back loop, and this is the reason why, because we're going to be working back loop single crochets here. If you have a new color yarn, you can start on any position you like. I'm going to start here on the short side, and I'm going to alternate my starting position as much as possible to prevent myself from getting one clear position where I have all my joins. So on a stitch, I'm going to start with a standing single crochet in a back loop, and then on each and every stitch in the back loop you work a single crochet. And when you get to the corner like you have here, do not accidentally add a stitch here. You see, this is the back loop stitch there, and this is the same stitch that's connected to the join here. So I'm not going to work one here as well, because then you're accidentally going to add a stitch there. So on the next stitch, which is this one here, I'm going to work a single crochet. And what I'm also doing is I'm taking the thread from the join with me and crocheting over it, and by doing so also connecting it to my work. Now of course I'm actually working slightly maybe inside out, because this here is the inside of my bag. This will be the outside, so I'm going to pop it this way at the end of the day. So this is kind of maybe a little confusing now, but as your bag gets bigger this will become more clear to you. So I'm working a back loop single crochet on each and every crochet, and when you get to the corner be sure not to accidentally add a stitch. And when you go all the way around, you've made 144 single crochets, and then you close with a join, either for example a needle join or a slip stitch here at the beginning. Count your stitches to make sure you have 144 and not accidentally one more or one less. And then I'll see you for the next round. Round 3, I have a new color yarn on my hook. You can also use the same color yarn if you want to. What we're going to be doing is work a half double crochet on each and every stitch. This here is a join from round 2. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to turn my work a bit. I'm going to start on a few stitches before the join and then take the green thread with me as I go along. If you're using the same color yarn, you will still be in position here, same color yarn as round 1, and you start with a chain 2 and then a half double crochet, where your chain 2 does not count as a stitch. If you have a new color yarn, you can start in any position you like. I'm going to start with a standing half double crochet. I'm going to start at this point here, the standing half double crochet, and you work a half double crochet in each and every stitch. And what I'm going to do is when I get to the position where I have the join from round 2, I'm going to take the threads with me and work them in. This way it saves me time and effort having to work those threads in later, because I'm sure you all know how it is to have to work in like a million threads at the end of your project. So I always try to prevent doing that. And also here, this is only one stitch. You've got half the loop on this side and half the loop on that side, but this is all one stitch. So don't accidentally work 2 stitches here. And I'm going to take all the loops with me and work that half double crochet. And then on the next stitch, also take the threads with me. And on each stitch, work a half double crochet, and you go all the way around. Do not add any stitches anywhere, because your bag needs to go straight up and not become all floppy, because that's a different design, of course. So I'm taking one stitch at a time, working a half double crochet on it, and in the process working this thread away. See how I've done this first part. So continue like this, work a half double crochet on each and every stitch. When you get to the beginning, close with a slip stitch on your first half double crochet. And also if you were using the same color yarn and you started with a chain 2, close with a slip stitch on the first stitch that you made, so your first half double crochet. Round 4, I have a new color yarn on my hook. And just a note on where to start. I'm going to start in the stitch that's directly above the position where we finished round 1. So this here, this stitch here, is where we finished round 1 that I have the slip stitch join. So that's the single crochet made in the back loop of that stitch, and this is the single crochet or the half double crochet made in that single crochet. So this is the stitch I'm going to start in here, this one here. The reason for that is that if I'm sure I start in this stitch, I know that the loops that I'm going to make are going to be nicely aligned on the long side and short side of my bag. A new color yarn on my hook. I'm going to start with a standing single crochet. So in the stitch above the slip stitch join from round 1. So the slip stitch join from round 1, the single crochet that's in that stitch, the half double crochet that's in that stitch. Here I'm going to start with a standing single crochet. If you're using the same color yarn, chain 1 and then a single crochet. Now I'm going to be making 10 chain stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chain 10 and 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. So on the next, there we go, 4, make 4 single crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is your repeat unit. I'll show you once more. Chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then work 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and now again chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is your another repeat unit completed. So again, 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochets, and now again chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get a bit more yarn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now again make 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. This is number 1, and that is your repeat. You're going to continue like this all the way around. You're going to do this in total 35 times. So those are the 4 single crochets followed by a chain 10, and immediately again 4 single crochets and chain 10. So you're making these loops that you see here. So continue like this, go all the way around, and then I'll just show you here how to end and close with a slip stitch. So 35 times, and then we're going to have at the end of the line 36 of these loops. Almost round. We need to work the last repeat. That is 4 more single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then again a chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At this point you should have 3 stitches left. You see I have here 1, 2, 3 stitches, and on these last 3 stitches I'm going to work 3 single crochets. So 1, there we go, and 2, and on the last one, that is 3, because the single crochet number 4 is of course here before we did this first loop. And now we're going to close with a slip stitch on that first, in my case standing single crochet, and that completes round 4. I'm not going to cut off because I'm going to use the same color yarn in round 5. So double check that you have 36 of these loops all around, and then you're ready for the next round. Round 5. This round we're going to be making a single crochet on each and every stitch. What's especially important is to make sure that the loops are on the front of your work and not to the back, because you're going to need these on the front. So this is the stitch where we just close with a slip stitch. I'm going to make a chain 1 just to bring me to the correct height, and then make a single crochet in that same stitch. So this is my first single crochet worked, and now I'm going to go make sure that my loop is to the front on the next single crochet. That's this one here. Especially that first one might be a trifle hard to get into because you do have these loops here. Work a single crochet in there, so, and then really pull this loop to the front. So that's 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 single crochets between loops, and then of course again go to the next stitch, which is this single crochet here, which is again the first one attached to that chain 10. And that first one is always going to be a little hard, and then you have to really make sure that you pull your loop to the front, and before you close it, make sure it's to the front. So that's again that first single crochet. So I'm going to work a single crochet on each and every stitch. Go all the way around, and when you get to the beginning, you again close with a slip stitch on the first single crochet. There's this single crochet here, so not the chain one, because that doesn't count as a stitch, on that single crochet. And all the time make sure that your loops are to the front of your work and not to the back, so that's important. So a single crochet on each and every stitch, and close with a slip stitch in your first single crochet. Round 6, just closed round 5 with a slip stitch, and we're going to start with a chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and then in the same stitch make the first single crochet. And in this round we're again going to be working a single crochet on each and every stitch, and it's especially important to make sure that you still have 144 stitches. And this is a useful round to use to count, to make sure that you still have that. And if you did accidentally go wrong somewhere, this is also a good opportunity to correct. So either decrease or increase a stitch somewhere if you notice that you have a mistake. That's often, correcting is often, well, not always, but sometimes just easier than having to pull everything out and start anew. If you continue like this, work a single crochet on each and every stitch. You go all the way around, and when you get to the beginning here, you close with a slip stitch or an invisible join on that first stitch. Round 7. This round is repetition of round 4, because we're now going to be repeating rounds 4, 5 and 6. So these 3 rounds we're going to do once more. I have a new color yarn on my hook, and I'm going to start with a standing single crochet in the same position as the slip stitch join. So I'm going to attach my yarn here with a standing single crochet in the same stitch, like so. Like so. And now we're going to do exactly the same as we've done before. So chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 10, and then again 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4 single crochets, and again chain 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, followed by once again 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and again chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yes, and 10. That's again the end of a repeat unit, and then again 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. You can see how you're now getting a second row of these loops. You're going to go all the way around, and at the end you're only going to have 3 single crochets after your last loop, and then close with a slip stitch on this first standing single crochet. And then you've completed the first of again the 3 repeat rows. Round 8. This round I'm still using the same color yarn, and we're going to work a single crochet on each and every stitch. So I'm going to start with a chain 1 just to bring me to the correct height, and then work a single crochet in the same stitch. There we go. And then going over to the next side, and it's still again here, also make sure that your loops, these chain 10 loops, are on the front of your work. Go to the next single crochet, which is this one here, and work a single crochet in there too. And really pull these two together, that you don't have a hole here behind this this loop that you've just made. So that's the first single crochet, and there should of course be 4 single crochets between the loops on those 4 stitches. And here's number 4, and then again go over to the next. So make sure that chain 10 is in the on front of your work. Make a single crochet on the next stitch, and you see how I'm pulling the loop in front before closing the single crochet, like so. So continue like this. You're going to work a single crochet on each and every stitch, exactly the same like you've done on the row down here. You're going to do up here, go all the way around, and then close with a slip stitch on this first single crochet. So not on the chain 1, on the single crochet. And then I'll see you for the next round. Round 9. This round, again, a round of single crochets. So on each and every stitch, make a single crochet. Start with a chain 1 to bring me to the correct height. Then in the same stitch, work a single crochet. And this is again the first of 144 single crochets. So you work 1 on every stitch, and when you get to the beginning, you close with a slip stitch. And again, this is also a good round to count your stitches. Make sure that you're still on track, that you haven't accidentally added or lost a stitch somewhere. Go all the way around, and then we're again going to repeat these last 3 rounds. So we're again going to make a 3rd band with these loops. Make a single crochet on each and every stitch and close with a slip stitch. And we're on to round 10, which is again going to be exactly the same as round 4. So we're going to be making another band of these with these loops and the single crochets. See, I've now made 2 of these bands. But you'll also notice that your bag is actually starting to stand up already a little bit, which makes it a little bit harder for me to get it in front of the camera properly, but I'll be doing my best through these videos. I have a new color yarn on my hook. It's actually the same color as the first band here, and I'm going to start in the same stitch where we just finished with a slip stitch join. At least I finished here with a slip stitch join. I'm going to start in that stitch with a standing single crochet. There we go. Yes. First standing single crochet, chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and again chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there we go, 10, and again 4 single crochets on the next 4 stitches. This is the next one. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this you're again going to repeat all the way around until you have in total again 36 of these chain 10 loops. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, chain 10, and then again make those single crochets. So you're going to go all the way around, and after your last chain 10 loop you're going to make 3 single crochets only, and then close here at the beginning with a slip stitch on this first standing single crochet, so on that stitch there. So your last one is going to be 3 single crochets and then the slip stitch join. So go all the way around, 4 single crochets and then the chain 10 loop, and I'll see you then for the next round. Round 11, again the same as round 5, making a single crochet on each and every stitch and making sure that our loops are on the front of our work. Start with a chain 1 just to get me to the correct height, and then make a single crochet in the same stitch as the slip stitch join. So this is the stitch with the standing single crochet. So make a single crochet in there, and now make a single crochet on each and every stitch. So on to the next, it's going to be this one here, and before I make the single crochet I close it. I really get my first, make sure my loop is to the front and work a single crochet. That's 1, and again 4 single crochets between the loops. You have number 4, and then of course go to the other side of the loop where you'll find the next single crochet, and then before I close that single crochet I make sure my loop is to the front, and then I close, and there we go, the single crochet. Also this way it's all nice and tight so that you don't have big holes on the back of these loops here. So work a single crochet on each and every stitch, go all the way around and close with a slip stitch on the first single crochet, so not on the chain 1 but on the single crochet. So that's going to be this stitch here, this one here. So after this loop you're going to have 3 single crochets, and then you're going to close with a slip stitch on this stitch here. Round 12. This round is again another round of single crochets. So chain 1 to get us to the correct height, and in the same stitch as the slip stitch join, make, there we go, a single crochet, and then again on each and every stitch work a single crochet. And at the end of this round you should have again, or still I should say, 144 stitches. So count your stitches and make sure you still have 144. So go all the way around and work a single crochet on each and every stitch, and when you get to the beginning close with a slip stitch on this first single crochet. So not the chain 1 that's here, but the single crochet. Round 13, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to again be making single crochets on each and every stitch. As such, you can start on any position. The best is to start on the same position as the slip stitch join, but I'm not going to start here because I don't want a clear edge along one side of my bag. So I'm going to take the equivalent position but on one loop earlier. As you can see here, you basically have sets of 4. So I'm going to go 4 stitches back. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And this stitch is the equivalent of this stitch relative to the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this stitch here, I'm going to start with a standing single crochet. That's 1 single crochet. And now you're going to work a single crochet on each and every stitch. 2, 3, 4, and then here, note you have the slip stitch join in here, so you've got half the loop here and half there. So don't work 2 stitches there, only the one. And I'm going to take it on this side here. And I'm going to take this thread with me from the previous round and work over it. There we go. And by working over it, I'm saving myself the effort of having to work it in later. So work a single crochet on each and every stitch, go all the way around, and close with a slip stitch on, in this case, that first standing single crochet. If you're using the same color, you will of course have done a chain 1 and then made the single crochet in the same stitch. Go all the way around and close with a slip stitch. And then in the next round, I'll show you how to weave these loops and how to connect them. So before we continue with round 14, we're first going to be weaving these loops that we've made in the last few sets of rounds. We're going to weave together. So how do we do that? Say that this is your starting position here. I'm going to show you because I started here at the join. This is where I have my join here. And you're going to connect the loops 2 stitches to the right of your join. See there, so 2 to the left. I'm hopeless at left and right, so 2 to the left of the join. So let's say for a moment that this here is a position of your join where I've just put the stitch marker, say. So mine is of course over there, but this is an equivalent position. So every 4th stitch. This is your join. Take the bottom loop that's to the right of the join and weave it with the second loop that's directly below the join. That's this one here. I'm going to weave in my case the purple through the bottom pink one, like so. And now again you take the next loop that's on the, again a pink for me, that's on the right of the join, that's this one here, and weave this through the purple loop, like so. And now we're going to connect this with a stitch marker to round 13, and that's just to hold its position that we don't accidentally lose it. So if this is your join, I'm going to go 2 stitches to the left and connect there. So I've got, so this is so say that if this is the position of the join, 1, 2 stitches to the left, and then you've woven this here. Show you again. So I'm going to the next loop, the bottom loop, and the second loop. The second goes through the bottom, and then again on the right, top one goes through the middle one. And with a stitch marker, I'm going to connect it to round 13, and now I'm going to go on the 4th stitch from where we are right now. So you're going to skip 3 stitches. It's 1, 2, 3. And this stitch here, stitch number 4, I'm going to connect. And again, the bottom one and the middle one goes through the bottom one on the right. The top one goes through the middle, and with a stitch marker connect 1, 2, 3, the 4th position. So especially that first one is important to get that right, because everything is going to be relative to that. So between your stitch markers you should have 4 empty stitches, and this way you can see, okay, it's still pulling a little bit down, but in round 14 we're going to be connecting this with a single crochet to round 13, and then this gap that I have here now with the stitch markers will disappear. So take a moment to weave all these loops together. You can see that you're making a zigzag here. That's what you're going for, and they're all in the same direction. Let's see here. And so what's very important is this very first one. If you get this one slightly one to the left or to the right, everything is going to of course be relative to that. So make sure you have this first one right. So the position, so where your join is, that's here. 1, 2 stitches to the left, that's where you want that first stitch marker. And then after that, you weave, everything is on the 4th stitch onwards. I'm going to take a moment to weave the rest of my zigzags, and then we can start connecting them in round 14 with single crochets. Round 14. In this round we're going to be connecting all these stitches or these loops to our work. So in the stitch where you are right now, just turn my work, chain 1 and work a single crochet. If you're using a different color, you make a standing single crochet in here. And the next stitch is a single crochet, because this is an empty stitch, so there's nothing strange happening here. And now we're hitting the first stitch that contains a stitch marker. So we need to connect this loop to that stitch. So I'm first going to I'm just going to remove the stitch marker. I'm going to keep a hold of this loop because I don't want to lose that loop. Then I'm going to go through the loop and through the next stitch and pick up my yarn and work a single crochet. And that's the connection you're making. Now again 3 empty stitches, so there's 3 single crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're connecting the next loop to the next stitch. So you can see why it's important to do this, to connect all these loops beforehand, because if you're working these single crochets and now you've got to go fiddling with these loops, it's going to go all wrong and you're going to have them skew somewhere along the line. So I've got my hook through the loop, and the next stitch would be this stitch here, and make a single crochet. And again 3 empty stitches, so 3 single crochets with nothing odd happening there. And also make sure you always have these 3 empty stitches. So, and the next stitch. You can really see that that these loops here actually give your bag a bit of stability. So suddenly your edges are becoming much stronger. So pick up the loop, your yarn through this loop, the chain 10 loop, and then through the next stitch. Pick up your yarn from the back and work a single crochet. And this you're going to do all the way around, so for all these loops everywhere you're going to do the same. So work 3 single crochets, and then the 4th single crochet you're going to be including that loop. So 3 single crochets, and then here is the next one. Just removing the stitch marker, keep a hold of that loop. You don't want it to unravel here, and oops, you see now I've lost it there. Through the chain 10 and through the next stitch, pick up your yarn and work a single crochet. Go all the way around. When you get back to the beginning, close with a slip stitch on your first stitch here, and then you're ready for the next round. I'm going to use a different color in the next round. When you've connected all the chains, all the loops I should say, with single crochets all the way around, your bag really starts to take shape. It's really standing on its own right now if you look at it, and also from the side it looks really nice. That brings us to the end of part 2 of this crochet along, and I hope to see you again next time when we'll be building on our edge and making our bag a little bit bigger again. Thank you for watching, and until the next time.